Okay, so basically, you already know what we are here for. You have a material that has been shared to you on the group page, and we're going to be following that material to teach this particular class today. Right, so you have the textbook as it were that was sent to you on a distance learning platform, but I won't be relying totally on that to teaching you this course. Okay, over time we have some selected topics that we follow to teach you, and I mean it amazes me when students still find, because students don't find it difficult. It amazes me when students don't pass this because they have concise materials that are very simple to understand. If you have the material, I've posted it on the group page, so you follow as I teach this particular course. But I will make reference point to what this course is and discuss analysis as we proceed, maybe from the main material. Alright, so we are here for conversational discourse. Can anyone tell me what we mean by discourse? Let's start with that. What do we mean by discourse? This is not the time to be checking. So, anyone, what do you mean by discourse?
A long-term dialogue on a specific topic or group of topics.
Long-term dialogue. Part of this. Another person. Discourse.
It's the way you maximize yourself in a short.
In a short. Adam, discourse. What? Huh? Exchange of conversation further. Now, discourse, I'm going to give you some number of explanation to discourse. So you just listen to that. That's not really our concern, but you should have a holistic understanding of what we mean by discourse. Okay? So when you say discourse, hello, please, you are disturbing us. Because I don't like this particular echo. The echo always comes down here. Those places would have been better. So, alright. Now, you have heard about grammar, and you've been told of the grammatical rank scale. You've heard of the morpheme, the phrase or group, the clause, the sentence. Then some people normally will tell you that what, apart from the sentence, we have another level called discourse, right? Are you following? Okay. I said this is not the time to be checking anything. That's how you feel. What do we mean by discourse in that sense? We have a collection of sentences that have been put together. You following? You have a collection of sentences put together, and those sentences that are put together are what you read as a text. Okay? If I take up mathematics textbook, it is what? A discourse. If I take up biology textbook, it is a discourse. If I take up anything, my Bible is a discourse. That's a discourse at a level. A discourse at that level is called any stretch of written or spoken text about a particular topic. Stretch of written or spoken text about a particular topic. Are you following? Okay? That's an idea of what discourse is. Okay? So discourse, when you talk about discourse, you know that it is different from discourse. Okay? So discourse is a stretch of what? Written or spoken text on a particular topic. Or deals with that. Something that focuses on a particular topic, a particular idea, a particular sense. Discourse is, let me first of all explain where we are going so that you will know how you put in your attention. Discourse is not straightforward and is also what? Straightforward. So mind is open. This is the course that gives you foundation for you that are interested in pragmatics, discourse analysis, speech art theory, interlocutionary art, and all sorts. Are you following? Okay? Why or how is it not easy? It's not easy because we are not actually dealing with direct language. I might be saying green, and what I'm saying is that this person is new. It's very important that you follow, first of all, what I am saying, so that you have the background knowledge of where we are going. Okay? So, such that you already have a picture. I mean, I can't really say if I'm just a phonologist. Are you following? Because when I handle discourse analysis, I mean, those that are discourse analysts, they bring discourse papers to me to go through them. They bring them to me, go through them, help me to work on it, and provide topics, to provide ideas, and many of all these things. Why? Because I already have a foundational knowledge that in discourse we are not dealing with a straightforward analysis or interpretation of language. We are looking at some deeper mean levels. For example, we are looking at ideology. So if I ask what's the ideology behind students coming to class, there is an ideology that follows it. So for example, the ideology that could have made you to be in this class today might be that you are interested in your success. Are you following? Some people, they will not come to class. Why? Because they don't believe that you have to come to class to succeed. So that's an ideology. So in any written text, there are several things that are embedded in the text beyond the surface form. In any written text, many things are embedded in it beyond the surface form. The interpretation of the writer, the background of the speaker, of the writer too. Many things that are embedded in it. The context where that particular text has been written. Many things embedded in it. So, particularly, it is expected that you focus on me. Alright? So, everything that I want to say basically already in the material. I mean, it is very concise. So just follow me initially. Now, I've given you one explanation or definition to discourse. Alright? So if you begin to look at discourse in another way, what else is discourse? People come together and they interact. What is the purpose of communication? Well, let me put it this way. When, I'm not sure, okay, you're in 300 level now, so they could have taught, have you done anything on systemic functional grammar? I've done something on So what are the three meta functions of language? What are the three meta functions of language? The three meta functions. I like your idea. You always want to at least try, even if you are saying rubbish, you are still saying something. So but it is good. It's better than not saying anything. Well, let me tell you, it is very good because when you say what is wrong, listen. When you say what is wrong, I can always correct you. So it is good. I mean, I like that mindset. That's the best mindset. Don't mind people that will just hide and couch behind whatever. And they pretend as if they know, but they don't know anything. Alright, so I'm listening to you.
For communication.
Okay, communication.
For knowledge acquisition.
Knowledge acquisition.
Those are the two that I choose.
Right, so that's very good. Those are functions of language, but not meta functions of what? Of language. Alright, so any other person? Umi? Because you have a small class, so expect I'm going to call all of you. I mean, there's no way to run. You understand what I'm saying? Lizzie? No idea. Yeah, try. Like distinguish. Distinguish what? Alright, so those are another functions. It's a mark of identity. Right, but now we are looking at language as a tool of use. That's what you do in systemic functional grammar, the function of language. Now, number one, everything you've said boils down to number one function of meta language, meta function of language now. The first is that language is used to express idea. The first one is what we refer to as ideational function. Ideational function. Right? You did all this in matter today. Have you forgotten? Ideational from the word idea.
Yes.
Ideational.
Like after the A, look it's here.
Ideational function. Right? So the first role that language plays as far as interaction is concerned. Listen. Meta. The first role of language, there are some people that fail this course. I'm telling you now, there are some 500 students that fail this course. And when coming to me saying that I'm going to retake this course and whatever, how did I fail it and not the like? And they will register for the course. And they are not in class. The same mistake they made, they are making again. I can't remember the questions that I gave them, but the questions that I gave them are right in that 8. How many pages is that material? If you add 5 pages to it, it becomes 13. Right there. Okay, so if a student feels, this kind of course, it amazes me. Are you following what I'm saying? So this is one of the, easiest way to understanding discourse analysis. We are here for conversational discourse, but of course, you get some bit of discourse analysis in it. Okay? So as I'm saying, ideational function. The first function of meta function of language is ideational. Language is used as a means of expressing your thoughts, your idea. You want to sing. How do you sing? Language. You want to express your thoughts. How do you express your thoughts? Language. You want to talk to someone. How do you talk to someone? Language. So at this level is where you deal with language as a statement, as a question, and all sorts. Use language for expressing your thoughts. You don't want to say something. You want to write something. Are you following? Right. So that's the number one function of what? Of language. Number two function of language. You don't need to write it down. It's not our interest. I'm not going to ask a question, but you can, of course, if you want to know, you can know. The second thing about the meta function of language is that it is interpersonal. Another function of language is what? Interpersonal. Interpersonal function of what? Language. Okay? Interpersonal function of language. Are you following? Interpersonal function of language. Language is used as a means of interacting with people. Language is a means of interacting with people. Okay? So it is used in expressing your thoughts. Additional, it is used for interacting with people. It is at this level, and okay, before I tell you the other one, then the third one or the last one is textual function. Textual. At the interpersonal level, what are the things that you need to look at? The interactions, the routines you make, you ask questions, you ask questions, say how are you, way of interacting with people. That's what you do at that level. It is at that level that you are what? Conversing with your fellow people. Now at the third level, even though language is ideational, even though language is interpersonal, at the textual level, it is where you see the moods, the modality that are embedded in your means of what? Conversation. So at the textual level is where you do what are the things that are put together to have what? Ideational and what? Interpersonal what? Communication. Are you following? What are the things that you put together? So textual now, if I say Tunde killed a goat. In that case, Tunde is what? The agent. The goat is the what? The goat is the patient. We are looking at systemic functional grammar now. You said you did systemic functional grammar. You are not doing TGG now. Systemic functional what? Grammar. Hey, teach SFG. Hey, go. This is the way they are looking at me. Answer now. But you said you did it before. Have you heard Maca the day before? Have you heard Maca the day before? Alright, anyway, let's leave that for now. Come back to it. Now, agent is the what? The team. The team there is what? Agent. The person that is what? Carrying out what? The action. The patient is the one that is what? Receiving the what? The action. Now, that mood is what? Is what? Is it transitive or intransitive? What's the mood here? It is what? Transitive. Because you say what? Today killed what? The goat. So you are saying transitivity. Right? If I say today we kill a goat, you are saying modality. It's not yet done, but it will be what? It will be done. So these are all the part of the things that you learn in semi-functional grammar. You are looking at the text. Now, what are the things that are put together? You are saying modality. There is no both. So you see that this thing is not something, an action that is going to take place in the future. Are you following? Okay? So basically, just listen to what I'm saying and forget the noise. Try to listen to what I'm saying. Basically, language is used to achieve these three aims. In the midst of conversation, in the midst of writing down, let's say you never have said text analysis. Initially I said spoken or what? Or written. It means that when you talk or when you make use of language, it doesn't have to be only what? Spoken. It will also be what? Written. Okay? So, language in conversation, language in written form, language in spoken form can be noted down, and you can say this is the what? This is the essence of the conversation. This is the aim of the conversation. This is the topic of what? Of the conversation. Anything that you can put a topic to is what? Is a discourse. For example, in this class, our discourse is on what? Conversational discourse what? Analysis. In another class, their discourse might be on what? Demand and what? And supply. Okay, are you following me? In another place, their discourse might be on football, the ball they played yesterday. In another place, their discourse may be on the expense that they put into marriage. If I ask you to write the story that ends in Adaino, the discourse is on what? The story. The narrative what? Story. Are you following? Okay? So we have different discourses that are possible. Different what? Discourses that are possible. Okay? So that is the idea of discourse along the first definition that I gave you. If you look at it in some other ways, you want to ask yourself, what is discourse? Again. Okay? So you want to ask yourself, what is discourse? You could say that discourse is a pattern of communication. Give me another definition to it now. Discourse is a pattern of communication of a group of people. Pattern of communication of a group of what? Of people. How some people communicate. Pattern of communication of a group of people. That's discourse. So ask yourself, how do people in the bank communicate? How do people in maybe the classroom communicate? How do people in maybe market communicate? How do people in the church, for example, how do they communicate? How do people in the mosque communicate? How do people in different areas? Let us even leave that. Let's go to geography. How do people that belong to a particular speech community communicate? I cited an example in the last class, maybe 391 now. I cited an example, 391, and I said that in a community in is it your class? I'm not sure if it's your class now. It should be your class. Okay, it's not your class, it's 271. I was telling them about South Africa. Okay? There is a community in South Africa, the Nguni people and the Soksa people. If you marry into a family, a Soksa family as a woman, marry into a, so for example, let's say Labake wants to marry into a Soksa family. There are certain things you must not say again. You must not mention the name of anyone that is older than your husband in that family. Anything that belongs to that man, that belongs to older people in that family, anything that belongs to them. Alright, so let's continue. So for example, your husband is 28 years old. Anyone that is above 28, anything that belongs to the person, the name, the clothing, the books, anything that belongs to people that are older than your husband, you must not call their name. If you want to call anything, let's say you want to mention the name of someone that is older than your husband, whether male or female. Let's say, for example, the person is Esther. You have to use another form of saying it. So where you put S you can turn it to Z. Where you have T, you can turn it to Da. Where you have ER, you can turn it to A. Are you following? So you have something like Esther. You can't say Esther again. You must learn the communication. It's a pattern of communication that they practice all over. Are you following? It's a pattern of communication that is practiced all over Soksa community. Largely many parts of South Africa. They call it Ilonipa. You can browse it out later on. They call it Ilonipa. You can't mention anything. You can't speak to the father or the mother of your husband directly. You have to use a form of language different from the language you are known to speak. So it means that once you want to get married, you have to start learning the way people used to talk. Are you following? That's a pattern of communication. In the Yoruba culture too, you see that we have some patterns of communication. So for example, I'm still going to talk about marriage now. If your fiance has younger brothers and younger sisters, are you following me? Your fiance has younger sisters and younger brothers. One of the very first things you will do is that you start calling them what? Brother. Are you following me? Start calling them what? Brother. So even if the person is younger than you, I'm talking to Yoruba people. I'm not talking to SY Yoruba people here. Are you Yoruba? If you are Yoruba, you know that that's what we do. You are not Yoruba. I'm talking to Yoruba people now. So in Yoruba culture now, if you are a woman, you have to start calling your what? The younger ones of your brother. Auntie, are you following? No, you have lost culture now. We are talking to people that still have culture.
Also respect. Okay, so you want to say that if someone marries a girl, the wife should not respect. So that's what you're saying. No, like she has to respect.
It has to start with one aspect. I respect my brother, so you can't expect me to respect that.
That is Yoruba culture. So you must learn it properly. In the Yoruba culture, whether you like it or not, it is expected. That's what shows that you are well brought up. Are you following me? That's what shows that you are well brought up. Okay? So that's in our culture. In some other people's culture, it is not there. I made mention of the Ondo people, the Ondo and Ileoluji people. They don't have respect culture in their language. You know, in the Yoruba culture, when you see, and it's an interference when you speak English. So when you see someone that is older than you, you will say, well, what? They are coming.
One book.
Even if when it is what? One person is coming. So you know that normally they is what? Plural. But because of Yoruba, which says one, for someone that is older than you, you say what? You say they are coming. Okay, that is Yoruba what? Pattern of what? Of communication for an elderly person. But if you go to Ileoluji, I'm coming. If you go to Ileoluji or you go to Ondo, that culture is not there. Their own language. So you say that language is embedded in what? In culture. We are looking at what? Pattern of what? Of communication. That's what we are looking at. So that you follow what we are talking about. Language is embedded in culture. So in Ondo now, you talk directly to your father. Kiowi. You don't say Kilewi, you say what? Kio-oni. Now it's not like in what? In Ondo or in Ileoluji variety of Yoruba. It direct means of what? One-on-one communication. Bami baby, you don't say ebami or anything like that. Just like you have in what? In English language, where you don't have what? Respect as in the pronominal system, you don't have honorific pronouns. You just say, I'm expecting you. You is you. Whether the person is older than you or what, younger than you. Are you following me? So you see different patterns of communication in different cultures. Are you following me? Okay? Alright, ask your question. Yeah, correct. I'm saying you are not following. That's the problem. They said language interference. Did you hear when I said language interference? Okay. So I said that language interference is the superimposition of the rule in your language on another language. Okay, that's why you are saying father. Are you following? Because you can't obey the rule of what? The correct pronunciation is what? Father. Right? But because in Yoruba language you don't have what? This vowel, and you don't have what? This vowel. So what do? You change from syllable stress time to what? Syllable time. You following? So you don't obey the rule again. That's language what? Interference. It happens at different levels of what? Of communication. I'm going to show you material along the way. We'll move on to some other level. I was reading something about South African English the other day, and I saw some of what those things there that we also have in our own communication. So at this level you have what? You have it in phonetics. You also have it at the level of syntax too. Where some people, when they want to talk, they will use they for what? For singular person. That's language what? Interference. It is you that is well educated or educated to some degree that will be able to say that what? He should be used for what? One person. Are you following? Even if the person is older than you or not older than you. So that is what we are saying. Alright? But the point that I was actually emphasizing there is that we have patterns of communication. In Yoruba we have the honorific pronoun. In English you don't have what? Honorific pronoun. So in Yoruba now, whether it is one person, if the person is older than you still use what? One. So if you now transcribe one and you ask them what is one? One is what? Third person plural what? Pronoun. So the person now asks you, you say one for how many people? And you say one person. So and then this person will ask you, why do you say one for what? For one person. But that is the pattern of what? Of communication in the Yoruba what? Culture. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. So you have different patterns of communication. All these are embedded in what? In discourse. When you go to the market, there are choice of words that you make use of that you don't use when you are in the church. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. In a funeral celebration or service, there are choice of words that are used there that you do not use in what? In a wedding. You can't say ati baba rele in a wedding. Also be. The person I see will first of all drop. Am I in the room? I will address you. Okay, that's what? Pattern of communication. That is a way you communicate based on different contexts. I'm looking at the definition of discourse along that line. Okay? Now, the one that we are much more interested in, I've given you about 2 definitions of discourse now. Yeah. The one we are very interested in is discourse can be defined as the contextual use of what? Of language. The contextual use of language. Language in what? In context. Language in context. Language in context. I've been overlapping into that definition before, but now you are getting into the details. I've been overlapping into it, but you are getting into the details now. Language using what? In context. The context of language. The context of language. So language is contextualized. I've been talking about that, but I mean,